Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Developer on the Roof. In today's lesson, we'll learn about classes and inheritance in JavaScript. Classes give us a clean way to create objects with shared behavior, and inheritance lets us build on top of existing classes. So let's start coding. So first, we'll start with basic class. So basically, a class is like a blueprint for creating objects. It has a constructor to set up properties and methods to define behavior. So let's start by adding a comment, basic class. So here we'll define the class with the class keyword. So we say class and name this class as person and our curly braces. So inside this class we have the constructor. So basically constructor runs when we use new method. So let's create our constructor. We have a name and we have an age. Inside this constructor we can just get our this.name equals name, and then we will say this dot age equals age. So this is our constructor, and now we have methods. So basically methods are written directly inside the class body, which is this one. So inside this we can write our methods. So each instance gets its own properties, but it shares the methods. So let's create some methods. Greet, and we can just add a log here, and let's say hi, I am, and then inside our curly braces we can just get our name from this dot name. If you don't know what is this, you can check our previous lessons. We have already covered all of these things, and our methods, everything you will get from our previous lessons. And this dot age years old. So this is our first method, which is great. Let's create another method. Let's say get info. Inside this we can just return our name and our age. So this dot age. So this is our get info method. Now if you want to invoke it, so first we will create a variable const, let's say person1, and we should say new, and our constructor or class you can say. So our class is person, so we'll just type here person, and inside that we can put our name and our age, which is name age. So whatever inside this you should give our arguments so it accepts our parameters. So let's add a name called Maruf, and comma and 22. This is the age. You can call it as many times as you want, because each instance gets its own properties, but we are sharing the same method, these ones. So let's create a person2 equals new person. Inside this you can say Ollie, and let's say 25, and now we should invoke it person1, and whatever method you want to call you can just say person1 dot greet, and this is a function, so we should call it like this. Now you will see inside our console we have hi, I am Maruf, and I am 22 years old. So Maruf is coming from here because we have called person1 and it's greet method, so Maruf will go right here. This is the name, this is the age. So same way, if we say person2, you will see we get the different response, different values. Now you see hi, I am Ollie, and I am 25 years old, because we have passed Ollie and 25. So if you want to get this one, you can also put it inside our console, and you can just call it as well. Let's say person1 dot get info, and it's a method. So you see Maruf 22, this is we are returning. So that's it for this basic class concept. Now let me show you what is inheritance. Let's add a comment first. Inheritance. So inheritance lets us create a new class based on an existing one. Like the child class gets everything from the parent and can add its own stuff. Let me show you that how we can create that new class based on our existing one, this one. So first we will say class, because that's how you can create a class, and we should say name it student, and we will put extends. So this extends we use to inherit from our existing class, this one, its parent class, it is person, so extends person, and inside that we can create our constructor. We have a name, constructor, we have a name, we have age, and let's put anything like grade because it's a student. Inside the constructor we can super calls the parent constructor first, so we should say super, and inside this we should put our parent constructor parameters, this name and age. So we will say name and we will say age. So this is for super calls. We should always do that if we are extending our class with our parent class or a parent constructor. And now, because this is our extended parameter, the grade, so we should call it like this dot grade equals grade. We don't need to do this thing again for name and age, because we have already done that in our parent class right here. So we just put super and name and age. It will already do that for us, so we should not do it again and again. So now we can create our methods. Let's say greet and this, and we can add a log here. Let's copy this again and paste it right here, and let's change some values, or let's extend it like hi, I am name, and let's remove and let's add a comma, and let's say age, and let's add another comma, and let's say grade, and $, curly braces, this dot grade. So this version will be overrides our previous version. Like this student class method greet will overrides greet with its own version, this one. If we call the student dot greet, we will get this result inside our console, not this one. This will be overridden. So now adds a new method. Let's add a study. This is a new method. Inside that we can add a log here. Inside our log we can say this dot name. We'll get our name is studying, or let's say studying dot. So this is the new method. We also should have the access of this get info method. We can call it inside this, but if you call this person, you will not get access any of these, because we have extends this one with this. So let's see the results. Let's create a variable called student, and let's say new our student class, and then inside that we can have a name. So first let's comment these out so we will not see it, and let's add a name Ahmed, and 20 is age, and let's say grade is A. Now let's invoke the method, or call the method. Let's say student dot greet. Now you will see we are getting hi, I am Ahmed, age 20, and grade A. You can see this console we are seeing, not this one, because it is overridden. Now if you call student dot study, we'll see Ahmed is studying, this one. And now if you want to access this method, you can also do that with this, because we have extended this with our person class. So we'll just say add a log, because we can't directly do this with get info, because inside our method we are returning something. So when we return something, we will return it inside our console to see the results, because there is no console, so we will not print anything here. But inside these we have added consoles. If we return any console, then we should not wrap it inside our console. We can see it directly. So right now you say student dot get info, and you can get access of it. Ahmed 20. You see name and age is getting from right here. So that's it for inheritance. Let's comment it out, and let me show you the concept of getter and setter. So let's say getter, or getters and setters. So basically getters and setters lets us define properties that run code when accessed or changed. Like they look like regular properties but have logic behind them. Let me show you that as well. Let's add a class. Let's name it user, and inside this curly braces we have a constructor. Let's say constructor, and we have first name, it will be a camel case, and last name. And inside this we can say this first name equals first name, then this last name equals last name. And now we will create some methods, but with the get keyword, like this get. Then we can create our method like full name. Let's say full name is our method. So the get keyword creates a property we can read like let's say user dot full name, this method. So we will get directly from the user, like without any parenthesis like this one. We can just say user dot full name, no parenthesis required if we use get keyword. So this is a getter. Let's return our, say, curly braces this dot first name, and we will get our this dot last name. So this is our first method, and let's create our second method. Let's use set keyword with this. Let's name it again full name. Let's name it full name, and let's add a value here inside our parameters. So this set keywords lets us assign to it like a regular property, but our code runs behind this behind the scenes to split the name. Maybe you will not understand much right now, but when we use consoles, so you will understand much better. So let's add const. Let's say const part equals value, which will be coming from our argument or parameter, and let's split it with a space. Now we will say this dot full name, or not full name but first name, equals part 0. So at part 0 or 0th index, we'll get our first name, and then this dot last name will be at parse 1. So this is our second method. Now let's call them. So let's say const user equals new user, and inside that we can have first name and last name. So first name will be, let's say, Maruf, and let's say our last name is Ahmad, and let's add a log. Let's say user dot full name. We don't need to put parentheses here because we have used get keyword right here. So you'll see Maruf and Ahmad. We are returning Maruf and Ahmad, first name and last name. And now let's change it. You can also set any value, like right here we are setting a value. So if you want to change anything, you can just say user dot full name, and you can make it equals to Ali Khan. So now Maruf and Ahmad will be changed to Ali Khan, which is full name. So we do this, it means we are calling this set method. So it will be divide Ali as a first name and Khan as a last name, because these are two parts and in between we have a space. So now, sorry, not the first name but full name. Okay, and now if we add a log and let's say user dot full name, you will see we will get Ali and Khan. We are returning Ali and Khan now because we have set the value, new value here. And if we log separately, like let's say user dot first name, we'll get Ali, you see. And if we do it for last name, you will see we get Khan right here. So this is basically a get keyword and set keyword, getter and setter works with the classes. So that's it for this part. Let's comment it out and let me show you our final concept, which is static method. So let's say static method or methods. So static methods belongs to the class itself, not to the instances. You call them on the class name, not on objects created from the class, right, like this. So let me show you with the example. Let's create a class and let's name it right MathHelper. Let's do some math helper. Inside that we can say static, which is a static method, and the method will be add a comma b, and we will return a plus b. So we are adding a plus b. So this static method are utility functions that don't need an instance, like we have done that with the constructor, but we don't need it right here because we have used static before our method, add method. So we will call them directly on the classes like MathHelper.add. You can't call them on an instance, they belong to the class itself. So you have seen here we have created the instance new user is a class. So we will not do that for this because we have used static methods are different than the simple classes or methods. So let's create another static method. Let's say static, and let's multiply, and we will multiply a and b. Inside that we will return a asterisk b, which is multiplication. And let's say static, let's create a random number, create random, and we will have min and max for that. Inside this we can return math.floor. We have already covered this math whole object. It's all methods. You can just check it out our previous lessons for that. So math.random, which is also a method, and multiply it with max minus min plus 1, and let's add it with our min. So this is how you can create our random number. So to call it, as I said, we don't need to create any instance for this. You can just type a log here and you can directly say MathHelper.add method, and let's add 5 and 3. So you'll see we got 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. And if you want to call different method, let's call multiply, and we will multiply 4 and 6, and you will see 24. And our final method to create a random number, you can also call it like this, and let's create a random number from 1 to 100. You see we have 58. If we refresh, it will be changed 5. If we refresh again, it will be 95. So that's it for today's lesson. You just learned about classes with constructors and methods, and inheritance with extend, super. We have done getter and setter. We have done static methods. So in the next lesson we'll learn about cloning and immutability in JavaScript. If this helped you, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone learning JavaScript. Jazakallahu khair for watching. Allah Hafiz.